and welcome to my GJ analysis for next week. First of all, I'm going to start on the weekly time frame. Now, as we can see, that we actually closed above this sort of region which we were rejecting off before, which is quite interesting. So we can see that we rejected this before. This is in September. We came up, we were rejected, which was a support before, and now we came back down to this level. Now we can see at the moment we came all the way back up. We've had a close above finally in this week, above this region, which seemed to be an issue, because you can see that this wick here, we came all the way up here, but it did not have the price to stay there. It wasn't strong enough to stay around this area, and actually came all the way back down to our last resistance before, which means that this area here is a very, very strong area. Last week before that, it was pretty bad. It was a doji candle, meaning that it was very indecisive, but also stayed on this range. And this is really interesting because this whole week, right, we came up and we came down, but at the end of that week, we basically stayed exactly, literally 20 pips between them of the 2 weeks, which is ridiculous, which shows that this is a very, very important level. So this is a 138 level. Now this one, we've actually closed above, which suggests that we're actually starting to leave this zone, and we might be starting to fill up these here like this, which is interesting, which is really good. But obviously we need to be in the back of our heads, and we know that, you know, if we stay above this candle, we should be okay. If we start to come below here, then we're going to come back down to these. And this is just for the weekly. And this is stuff you should do just to see where we're at, you know. Now let's have a look on the daily. Now you can see on the daily time frame, we came back up, and then we're still rejecting this sort of area at 140, which seems right, which is exactly what happened in these areas as well. So now we can start to self some analysis here of where we're going to start to head when we make some decisions. So first of all, we can see that, you know, we made the support here, which held how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can see that this region here is quite a solid support. If we start closing below these regions, then we're going to head back down to these levels over here, probably here and here, because you can see that it is a clean candle. You can see that this is a clean candle, which we kind of want to mirror if we start to come down. Right, and this is in the lower half. Now on the upper halves, if we start to somehow make a support, maybe on these supports up here, we could start to make support here, or maybe back down here and then start to launch off. The first thing we need to get past is here. We need a good daily close above this area, because at the moment we're struggling. And also, can you see how this is aligning up with this? So you might be able to see this. We could have something like this happening, where we come back down and then we start to launch. But you can see actually that we've closed on the lows of here. So this could be actually the next support, but we need to see where it opens tomorrow. So yeah, if we start to break up these areas, where are we going to head? Well, we look left and you can see these highs right here, which are very nice highs that we should go to. And this is basically where you get your analysis for the week. And now you're like, okay, great, I've got a plan now, you know. Sells down here are going to be looking lovely, and buys up here. This is the long term. If you're looking for swings and stuff like that, what you could do. Now, obviously, we don't do that kind of stuff here. We do nice trades in and out quickly. Now, on the 4 hour, you can also see, I'll get rid of these now because this is just a little analysis. We can just see. Now, let's get into the 4 hour. 4 hours, still rejecting off these things, aren't we? Which is exactly the same as the daily. But we're starting to rest over here. And you can see that this last 4 hour and the previous one dipped into this area, and it actually pulled all the way back up. So you can see now that this here, we pulled down 20 pips, and it did not like it at the end of this week. So maybe we're going to have to wait for some support to form, to maybe in this sort of area here, sort of region, which is above these, which used to be a resistance, to then maybe project back up to these levels and see now next times, in the next couple of days, if we can start to close above this area and start to form some nice candles. But at the moment, you know, we don't know. And if we start to break below here, we're going to come back down to these levels right here. And this is a simple, and this means that, you know, if we start to break into these areas, we have a lovely 80 pip move, which we can start to take little chunks out of when we come back down to these resting areas at 137. Now we look at the hourly, and this is what we do. You know, in the mornings we'll start doing this. I do these on my live Discords. I put in a Zoom call for every single morning at London, and we just trade it. You can see in the last hour of this thing, we actually seem to pull up quite nicely back into this area. So hopefully we can start seeing some support being formed, because we know, you know, it's the end of the month. We are very bullish, very, very bullish. If you see, monthly, down, very, very bullish. Hopefully we can start to fill back up here in the next couple of days or weeks. But it depends on the news, and this is the next thing I'm going to talk about. But yeah, this is the analysis, you know, and this is how you can start making trades. And in the morning when we start to open, you know, imagine if it's 7 a.m., you start to see these candles closing above back into these areas. You can fill up here, and then you can start picking off little trades. But this is, you know, it doesn't take a genius to find out where the regions are. It really isn't hard. You know, anyone, if I gave this chart to anyone and said break it down for me, I'm pretty sure they'd do a pretty decent job of it. You know, if you start coming back down to these levels, we're going to come back down to the biggest level supports, which are here, and etc. You know, back down here, because you can see that this is quite a nice wick up, and then if we come back down, it'll mirror that. Actually, I'll see a really, really good one. I'll just show you about mirroring candles, and I actually saw this trade happening live, and I talked about it. And it was right here. Now, as you can see, you know, this is just a little bit of a, also a bit of some trading knowledge here. So as you can see that we, you know, we were relying on this level over here. And what we were looking for is, forget all this is here. We're seeing like, right, okay, we're getting some rejection candles to these highs over here. And what's going to happen if we go past these lows? Well, it doesn't take a rocket science to look left and go, right, we had this beautiful candle here. Right here, sorry. And actually, if you look left even more, we also had another candle there. And which means that the institutions, obviously, in all this, all of this kind of institutional knowledge is they like this price, which is a 139, and they also like coming up to the 137s, 136s, but they don't like being in the middle much. So they come up and down, and even there, actually, yeah. You can even see it here. So when this move came about and I saw this starting to push down, I'm like, it's going to mirror that candle, isn't it? And then look, you just look on the 30 minutes and stuff, and you start seeing some nice, oh God, you can see some nice candles mirroring there, just exactly how we expected. So this is why I always say in our analysis, we need to look left of where we can start to head. But yeah, so next week we'll be looking for continuation of the bulls if we can, and it's been slow these past 2 weeks, to be honest, but we'll see where we can head. The 4 hour, to be honest, is also looking a bit nasty, how we rejected these highs, and this actually fall here is quite interesting. So we've literally rejected the same positions here, and we might be coming back down to these levels back again. Unfortunately, also, we need to check the news. And in the news, we know that I think Debenhams and Burton and the people who own all these companies could be going bust, and they need a government bailout. And apparently 30,000 jobs could be at risk. And obviously, that is not good news in the slightest, which will, you know, it will start to put pressure on the pound. And it doesn't look very good for us at the moment, especially still being in a lockdown and nothing's really happening. So I highly doubt, to be honest, we can start get back to the all-time highs of like this year, for example, like up here, because we're having so many rejections off here and struggling to push through. But, you know, you never know. Maybe any vaccine news can start to push it. And this is why you need to be fluid, you know. There's no reason to have a massive bias and only keep to it. You know, if you start seeing good confirmations to go up or down, you can still enter. This is what being fluid is in the market. But at the moment, we rejected these highs. We need to wait where it lies, but it's probably going to lie, hopefully, on these areas right here. You can see these highs, which is at the moment. So I'm expecting we're starting to see some bulls. And if we start to close above these areas, we can start pushing up even higher, back up to these levels, start to fill in wicks right there, 140.3. But that's my analysis. You know, it's very simple to do analysis. It doesn't take a rocket science. You just mark out your charts, and yeah, when the day comes, you know, you can start seeing some candles forming and execute on your plan. But yeah, keep your higher time frames in mind and try and stick with the trend, basically, because it's nice in the daytime seeing the trends. And yeah, but at the moment we can start to see that we are rejecting these highs. But on the other hand, we should start to push up back up to these levels, just with the fact that it's coming to the end of the month and we're all very bullish, both weekly and monthly. So hopefully we can start to come back up to these levels. But the lower time frames do suggest that we are rejecting off it. But you just need to execute properly and see how it is. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll probably be doing these every week, just nice little charts that you can start to look at and try and make it, try and see if you can see the similar patterns that I see. And yeah, we'll see you next week where we go. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you in the next video.